Hello, and thanks to all of you for joining us back here for day 2 of GitHub Universe. What a fantastic first day we had yesterday. We showed you how to ship even faster with auto merge on pull requests. Actions has a brand new workflow visualizer, protected environments, and deployment approvals, making it a full-featured CI/CD platform. We announced corporate sponsors, enabling organizations to help support the open source projects they rely on. GitHub Enterprise Server 3.0 is coming soon with full support for the tools that developers love: actions, packages, code scanning, and more. And last but not least, one I know many of you are excited about, we unveiled dark mode for GitHub.com. As Nat said yesterday, delivering the best possible developer experience is at the heart of everything we do. It drives every feature we ship, every decision we make. We draw on our own experience using GitHub to build GitHub, as well as the experience that you, our community, has every day on the platform. While we have incredibly talented people on our team, their creativity can never match the collective knowledge and the skill of the global developer community. As the home to so many of the world's developers, we tap into emerging trends and best practices to build the platform for all developers, with the goal of making their lives easier with each and every new ship. At the end of the day, that means helping developers do what they do best. It means removing distractions and automating away as many mundane tasks as possible so that developers can focus on their craft and have an awesome experience doing it. We talk to developers all the time, and we also hear from businesses of all sizes. Everyone wants to improve their ability to deliver software. In our experience, for businesses, it's fairly simple. You accelerate velocity and improve quality, and end up with a happier team to boot by focusing on the developer experience. So what does that really mean? A great developer experience boils down to 3 key components. First, developer workflow, including frictionless collaboration and automating manual tasks so developers can stay in flow. Second, developer-focused security and compliance to take the worry and risk away from developers and allow them to focus on their work. And finally, platform reliability to ensure your platform is scalable, resilient, and available whenever your developers need to use it. So let's talk about developer workflow. GitHub centralizes your workflows around your developers, around the software they build. Most developers just want to write great code and for it to have an impact. CI/CD, testing, issue management, refactoring, and so on are seen by many developers as more of an annoyance that gets in the way and interrupts their flow. According to research by UC Irvine and Humboldt University in Germany, it takes an average of 23 minutes to enter an optimal creative state, or what we call flow, or to re-enter it after a distraction. So staying in flow is critical for developer productivity. It also just feels good to be cranking away at something with deep focus. I know I certainly love that feeling. The intuitive collaboration and automation features we've built into GitHub help developers stay in flow, allowing your team to do so much more. To put some numbers around this, the 2019 Dora report found that elite and high-performing DevOps teams are automating significantly more work than low-performing teams. In fact, these elite teams are delivering 208 times more frequent code deployments than those who aren't. Their lead time from commit to deploy is 106 times faster, and they recover from incidents over 2,600 times more quickly. Automation not only increases the time developers spend on code, but also makes their jobs easier because they're able to minimize distractions and stay in flow, focused on work that's driven by creativity and collaboration instead of redundancy and interruptions. GitHub defined one of the most foundational code collaboration workflows when we created the GitHub pull request, providing an interface and workflow for sharing, suggesting, and reviewing code changes throughout open source and private repos. Prior to the pull request, developers literally emailed their diffs to one another. You had to hope the person on the other side knew what to do with your code and what it did before you could even attempt to merge. That one feature set the benchmark for how we approach supporting developer workflows. Start with highly repetitive developer tasks, make them significantly easier and a joy to use, and iterate from there. For example, yesterday we announced the latest feature on top of pull requests, auto merge. Auto merge accelerates time to merge and allows more work to happen in parallel. No more time spent tracking down pull request authors, updating out-of-date branches, and waiting for tests to pass just so you can click the merge button. Once all requirements are met, your PR can merge, rebase, or squash automatically. So the developer who is waiting to go back and merge the PR herself, AutoMerge is handling that for her now. And she's already writing more code, opening another PR, creating a new release, or pairing with another developer. For developers, this is hopefully a finally moment. For enterprises, now you can just set consistent requirements across your organization for merging pull requests. And instead of a developer having to come back and merge each one, we do it for you. And all of those auto-merged PRs will have universally applied security and compliance review, reducing security risks and the potential for human error, all while allowing your developers to focus their energy on work that truly adds value. Improving workflow isn't about one feature or capability, though. Keeping developers focused on high-impact work extends to every facet of the developer experience. We're helping developers stay connected and productive with our native GitHub mobile apps for iOS and Android. Need to merge a PR but you're away from your desk? Just swipe to merge on your phone. With GitHub Codespaces, developers get a fully featured cloud-hosted dev environment that spins up in minutes directly within GitHub, so they can start contributing to a project or switch between projects without delay. Codespaces dramatically reduces the overhead of managing dev environments and switching contexts, allowing developers to stay in flow and focus on the code. It saves companies time in running, managing, and overseeing hardware across your developer environment. That's all running in the cloud now. It gives your developers flexibility and drives collaboration within your organization. Teammates can jump in quickly to work with others on a project, even when they only have a limited amount of time. Just spin up an environment in an instant and they're good to go. And it simplifies access, eliminating reliance on institutional knowledge or specific individuals and ensuring the work can be done whenever and by whomever is needed. From an IT perspective, Codespaces also reduces the amount of time and effort spent on fleet management. By shifting dev environments to the cloud, there's no longer a need to provision and maintain developer environments on local machines. This also has the potential of reducing the hardware requirements for your dev boxes, as the amount of processing actually happening locally is minimal. Great software development workflows include more than developers, and they don't stop when the human leaves the room. Great workflows do the work for you. They bring in the right people at the right time, they fail intelligently, and they self-monitor. That's how you increase developer velocity, through smart, interconnected workflows. And while we're building those capabilities into code-heavy workflows, we're also building this philosophy into your infrastructure. I'm talking about automation, and particularly the increasingly powerful GitHub Actions. Yesterday, we announced the launch of GitHub Enterprise Server 3.0, a release I'm particularly excited about because it delivers features such as code scanning, packages, and actions, the community standard for workflow automation, to our self-hosted product. GitHub Enterprise Server customers now have access to powerful CI/CD and automation capabilities built into GitHub and housed directly next to their code. In less than a year, Actions has become the #1 CI solution on GitHub in both public and private repositories. But that's just where it starts. Across all open source repositories, repos that use Actions on pull requests see PRs merge 1.2 times faster, and the number of merged PRs increased by 1.3x. That's 34% more pull requests merged. This is huge in terms of improving developer velocity. And this scales exponentially with your team. According to 3M, building with GitHub allowed them to go from 400 deployments in 60 days to 6,000 deployments. That's a 15 times increase in ships. The open source community, including teams and companies around the world, has come together to build, share, and improve on actions that simplify workflow automation. There are now over 6,000 community actions in the marketplace, helping developers automate everything from testing to incident management to Kubernetes deployments. As with any other code, you can fork and modify actions to meet your needs. Then, share them with others so they can continue to iterate on what you've built. A number of GitHub partners are creating what we call verified actions, which means that we have verified the source of the actions your organization is using. Let's check out some demos from our partners.
At ServiceNow, We're excited to announce our newly published ServiceNow CI/CD GitHub Actions as part of our ongoing commitment to the ServiceNow developer experience. These new actions help developers quickly set up and configure CI/CD pipelines for apps built on the Now platform using GitHub to accelerate app delivery. We'll start by creating an actions workflow for an app linked to our GitHub repo using the example template built on the newly published GitHub Actions. Next, we'll set up secrets for this GitHub repo, including credentials for service accounts and other workflow variables. Then, check out a feature branch in our dev instance using Studio, the built-in IDE, and then make some commits. After that, we create a pull request and watch our first CI build get triggered automatically. When our build passes, we'll merge our pull request and confirm that the push to our main branch triggered a release build, which automatically validates and deploys our app to our production instance. And that's how easy it is to get started with CI/CD for Now Platform app development. For a full demo, visit our landing page on the GitHub Universe site. Take advantage of streamlining your development workflow today with ServiceNow CI/CD GitHub Actions published on the GitHub Marketplace.
Hi, I'm Abhilash. I'm a product manager at Datadog. Datadog is a full-stack observability and security platform. We have over 400 integrations so that developers can monitor their stacks without manual instrumentation. We recently launched an integration that provides CVE analysis from our Continuous Profiler. The Datadog Continuous Profiler provides method-level spans that provide insights on which parts of your codebase run how often and for how long. A CVE analysis, or Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures analysis, provides insight on what vulnerabilities exist in your application. But vulnerabilities are everywhere. That doesn't mean each vulnerability is even exploitable. They also come in many flavors. For example, it could be a library in your container image repo or a package that you don't really call. There are many ways for them to exist in your app but not be relevant. What you really need to care about is which vulnerabilities are invoked in production and are exposed to user traffic. Our new integration provides a way to map the vulnerabilities with how often they're invoked and from which parts. For example, here's a time series view of how often some of these vulnerabilities are invoked. Now, to get this working, customers need to first create a dependency graph. This creates a mapping between the customer's application and the vulnerability database. Once this is generated, they then need to upload this dependency graph to Datadog for the actual analysis. This workflow creates some onboarding friction. The easiest way to reduce this friction is to automate. Today, we're excited to announce the launch of Datadog's first GitHub action on the marketplace. With this new GitHub action, we can easily onboard with our CVE analysis workflow. It's also easy to add to your CI/CD pipeline and keep the CVE analysis updated. Here's a quick demo. We have a sample application here with a workflow. The workflow has several steps. The first couple of steps invokes other GitHub actions in order to set up your environment. This is easily done. Next, we use the environment variables to parse and store the deployment version. We then call our GitHub action. This runs a series of scripts and requires no user input. If it notices a new deployment version, it generates and uploads a new dependency graph. Here's the data flow. Whenever there's a code merge, the CI/CD pipeline takes over. If all the tests pass, the action is invoked. This then generates and uploads a new dependency graph and kicks off the Datadog CVE analysis process. The CVE data is updated based on the new dependency graph. This keeps the CVE analysis data synchronized with new deployments. With GitHub Actions, we were able to reduce the onboarding friction for this workflow. Customers can now get access to an end-to-end CVE analysis with just a few clicks. We were also able to solve this problem faster by leaning on GitHub Actions rather than changing our application code. This is because GitHub Actions are just easy to use and require almost no overhead. We were also able to meet our customers where they were, on the GitHub Marketplace. This adds another layer of discoverability. This has been a quick overview of how Datadog leverages GitHub Actions. We hope you have a great rest of the conference. Thank you.
Hi, my name is William Marquito Oliveira. I'm a product manager within OpenShift, and I'm very excited to talk about the GitHub Actions that we built that will enable your developers to deploy applications to OpenShift. So here are the actions already in the GitHub Marketplace, but I'm going to show you now how you can very easily add that to your GitHub projects. So here's my GitHub project. It has no workflows currently set up. I can click in Actions and you get to this list here. I have already found the OpenShift workflow that I'm gonna set up now to deploy to my OpenShift environment. I'm gonna replace some of the values that you can use here to, for example, use your container registry, and then of course, the 2 secrets pointing to your OpenShift cluster and your OpenShift token as well. You can also use your username and password, but that's pretty much all you need. I'm gonna commit that to my repository, and that's going to trigger a build that, as you can see, it's just getting started right now. But that's pretty much all you have to do, and this application now will land in my OpenShift cluster. I'm gonna very quickly walk you through the secret as well. As you can see, I have the registry password and the 2 values for my OpenShift environment, the server and the token. But that's it, like it's that simple. And now that the build is complete, let's see the URL for that application in my OpenShift cluster. This is a Quarkus app, so the startup time will be really fast. And that's it, my app is up and running now. We're very excited about this partnership, and we look forward to see what developers will build with this GitHub Actions for OpenShift and for other Red Hat projects.
I'm always so impressed by the ways our community is using Actions. I love this quote from McKesson, and I couldn't have said it better myself. The more you allow developers to do their best work, the more you automate the manual tasks, the more you can do for your customers. GitHub Actions enhance the developer experience through developer-focused workflows. By producing shared and secure ways to automate away the manual steps to shipping software, Actions allows developers to focus on writing code and in turn delivering great products to your customers, whether they're internal or external. But great developer experiences require more than the best features and an uninterrupted workflow. They also need to deliver peace of mind. Securing software is truly a team effort. Discovering, reporting, and remediating vulnerabilities is a full-time job, and not one everyone is equipped to do well. We've captured the expertise of world-leading security experts in our product so that addressing security concerns becomes a streamlined part of automated workflows, rather than something developers need to do on the side. Of course, security isn't just about preventing bad actors from breaching your code. It's also about ensuring that human error doesn't expose you or your customers to risk. On a random sample of over 500 advisories across 6 package ecosystems, we found that only 17% of security vulnerabilities are from malicious behavior. Put another way, 83% of vulnerabilities are simply the result of human error, mistakes that anyone could make and that could happen anywhere in any company. Vulnerabilities are hard to identify and expensive and time-consuming to remediate. With GitHub, you have an entire community of security researchers helping you find and fix vulnerabilities. In applying this tooling and expertise to open source software, suddenly the whole supply chain becomes more secure for us all, given that so much of today's software is built on open source. We believe in both securing the software supply chain and frequently scanning code before deployment to prevent vulnerabilities and their variants from making their way into production code. Security on GitHub works just like your developers do. It's centered around your code, embedded in existing collaboration workflows, and bolstered by the confidence and the power of the open source community. We can look at the process of patching vulnerabilities as an example of how this works in favor of developers. Repositories that automatically generate a Dependabot pull request patch their software 13 days sooner or 1.4 times faster than those who don't. That's huge when it comes to security. If you're not already using Dependabot, you should spend some time checking it out. As I mentioned, we have an incredible team of security researchers, and we've built their expertise directly and intuitively into the GitHub Enterprise platform. GitHub Enterprise Server customers now have access to GitHub's Advanced Security Suite, which includes CodeQL code scanning as part of their server deployment. The combination of advanced security and our supply chain security features, including Dependabot, offers companies with an on-prem deployment platform to help secure their use of open source, simplify security, and automate their application security practices. And yesterday, we announced the beta availability of secret scanning in GitHub Enterprise Server 3.0 to help prevent credentials and other protected information from being accidentally exposed or giving systems access to potential intruders. Security advisories, CodeQL code scanning, secret scanning, and Dependabot all work together to secure your code end-to-end. Security is not just about tools, it's also about the community working together. GitHub brings the power of the community to help secure software, including yours, into our platform through the Security Lab. Take Postmates, for example, who leverage CodeQL's code scanning to do what literally no other developer-focused security tooling can do. GitHub's security features meet developers where they are, in the source code. And we also have a fantastic partner here with us who's working to provide additional security capabilities to GitHub customers through their own integrations. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Matt from Bridgecrew, the cloud security platform for developers. With the advent of DevOps, GitOps, infrastructure as code becoming staples of our day-to-day, there's no better place than GitHub to start the development team's security journey. Bridgecrew's mission is to enable security where code happens, and we do this through frictionless infrastructure as code scanning, automated remediation, and runtime scanning. But most importantly, we do all of this right within the developer's existing workflows. Let's take a look at that. We'll start with TerraGoat, our intentionally vulnerable set of Terraform manifests for infrastructure as code security training. Here we have multiple infrastructures and multiple different types of Terraform resources. By cloning that locally, we can see we have a couple of Azure App Services. We can add a third and make a commit. We'll commit that to a new branch, and we'll push that. We'll then make a pull request against our main branch. And once that's done, we can see that pull request in GitHub. As you can see, Bridgecrew's already scanned this PR and found issues with our infrastructure as code security posture, which is highlighted. By scrolling to the bottom of the pull request, we'll find the Bridgecrew set of checks. Clicking details will take us to a single page where we can see all the issues and suggested remediations. To remediate, we can simply click on one of the issues, add it to our list of remediations, and click Remediate. Going back to GitHub, this will automatically add a new commit into our PR to solve that particular security issue. Clicking on the individual pull request comments also takes us to guidance, so individual developers on the team can see context as to why that change needs to occur. While we're in the platform, let's look at existing issues within our main branch. As you can see, App Service 1 and 2 suffer from the same issue. Here we can click into them to see the same remediation suggestions, and even though they're already in our main branch, we can click Remediate. This will generate, you've guessed it, a new pull request against that branch to fix the infrastructure as code issues already highlighted. We can also see from the types of violations in the list that Bridgecrew's also noticed one of these infrastructure as code issues has made it all the way to production and is highlighting a runtime violation from Azure for the same issue. Last but not least, we can also add badges to all our repos to highlight the infrastructure as code security posture to other developers and to make it easy to track our improvements.
Accelerating velocity is critical to keeping pace, but doing so without investing in security can create additional risk. We want to help teams ship more secure code faster, and a developer-focused approach supported by the community with the right tools and the right partners is the best way to get there. GitHub is where the world builds software. Over 50 million developers trust GitHub to collaborate, test, build, and deploy code, including over 70% of the Fortune 50. In fact, in the last year, over 60 million new repos were added and over 1.9 billion contributions were made. Those are some seriously big numbers. The stability and resilience of our global platform is critical to providing developers with a platform they can count on. GitHub Enterprise is built on the same principles as GitHub.com, and as a result, benefits from the years we've spent optimizing the platform to be trusted, reliable, and resilient. From day one, we've focused on building great products and experiences for the developers who spend their days or their nights on GitHub. From pull requests to code spaces, actions to CodeQL, and everything in between, our vision is to build the home for all developers, whether they're working on a fun side project or building mission-critical software for Fortune 500. Developers benefit from working in a collaborative community built around code. one that scales with each new project, allows for expertise sharing, cross-team problem solving, and code and workflow reuse. By replicating this experience in-house, enterprises can benefit from the practices that have helped the open source community grow and thrive. Call it inner sourcing or digital transformation. It boils down to empowering developers to work the way they work best, collaboratively and free from unnecessary distractions. Regardless of your goals for this year, whether it be to improve your workflows or to achieve your vision of digital transformation, investing in a top-notch developer experience will be key to your success. One that embraces the developer workflow, seamlessly addresses security and compliance, and provides access to a scalable, reliable platform built for developers. We're here to partner with you to accelerate developer velocity and deliver world-class software, and we're excited for what the future holds for us all. Thank you, and enjoy day 2 of GitHub Universe.